you guys remember Lia Thomas, that man who pretended to be a woman in swimming at UPenn and competed in the women's division, stealing titles from biological women who were fantastic swimmers? Well, now UPenn is going back on all of that, restoring the titles to the biological women who should have had those titles all along, and now they're saying they will no longer allow biological men to compete in women's sports. Now, is this a big win, or is it too little too late? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Yes, we have news out of UPenn. Who would have saw this coming? Now, if you'll remember with me, in 2021, Lia Thomas, who was ranked in the 400s as a male in the male swimming division at UPenn, decided, I'm going to identify as a woman and start swimming in the women's division. Now, where did Lia Thomas fly in ranking? Well, all the way to the top, as one would imagine when you allow a biological man to swim against women. And Lia Thomas got all this press, and it was asked, is Lia Thomas going to compete in the Olympics, all while Lia Thomas stole titles away from biological women who worked their asses off all their lives in order to swim for the NCAA. Well, now UPenn is going to restore the titles stolen by Lia Thomas to those biological women. Per the DOE's announcement, under UPenn's new agreement, the following actions will be taken. UPenn will restore to female athletes all individual UPenn Division I swimming records, titles, or similar recognitions which were misappropriated by male athletes allowed to compete in female categories. UPenn will issue a public statement to the university community stating that it will comply with Title IX. The statement will specify that UPenn will adopt biology-based definitions for the words male and female, shocker, pursuant to Title IX and consistent with President Trump's executive orders, defending women from gender ideology extremism and keeping men out of women's sports. UPenn will post the statement in a prominent location on its main website. UPenn will rescind any guidance which violated Title IX, remove and revise any internal and public-facing statements or documents that are inconsistent with Title IX, and UPenn will send a personalized letter of apology to every impacted female swimmer. So this is a big move in what is a long run of UPenn just annoying what should be the rights of women, not only in their sports, but in their private spaces. And of course, this brings up none other than Riley Gaines, who was a huge central player in this whole controversy, as she was one of the first to even speak up about Lia Thomas and speak out against Lia Thomas, and UPenn allowing Lia Thomas to compete. And we all know that Riley Gaines at one point tied with Lia Thomas in a race that should have never happened in the first place. Now, of course, prominent leftists are calling out UPenn, saying this is disgraceful. They're calling out Title IX and Donald Trump. Keith Oberman tweeted out, wanted to congratulate whiny Gaines on being able to say she finished tied for fourth, not tied for fifth, in the Lia Thomas race. And then, tagged Riley Gaines in that. Now, Riley Gaines responded graciously, thank you, and while you're keeping track, make sure to congratulate Emma Wyant, the Wrights national champ in the 500 freestyle too. If you're insinuating fifth in the nation is bad, what do you call a man who ranks 462nd nationally in the men's category? And that's right, Riley, because what? I can see somebody wanting to defend transgenderism and Lia Thomas's ability to go ahead and transition to become a woman, but to defend a guy who's ranked 462nd, or a guy at all, competing against females and in the female category is just a whole nother beast that I just don't understand. And to call out these women and say, well, congratulations to you that your ranking moved up just a little bit now that we've taken a man who shouldn't have been there in the first place out of the category, it's just so weird and strangely, it seems a little misogynistic, which is what ends up happening in these trans arguments in the first place. And of course, Riley Gaines took it on the chin and said, you know what, there is a difference between men and women. And yeah, ranking fifth is pretty great. And ranking 462nd is not so great, which could be the very catalyst for Lia Thomas wanting to compete against women in the first place. Now, we have to ask ourselves, is this too little too late? Is this a good acknowledgement? I got to say, when I first read this news, I'm surprised that it even took place, that they were going to retroactively go back and give these women their titles, that they were even going to apologize. And I think there is a level of accountability that we can applaud, even though it's probably being forced to be taken in UPenn's case. But nonetheless, it's something that I didn't expect. Now, Does this change really anything at all? It changes the future of sports at UPenn and the future of those that are beholden to Title IX and the future for the women who are going to be competing in future sports categories against what would have been men. But it doesn't change what happened to the female athletes who were forced to compete against the likes of Lia Thomas. They never really get those titles back. They never really get the opportunity back. They never really get their athletic prime back. And it's just sad to see that this is the future, that we had to go through all this strife and all this turmoil to just get somebody to accept that not only is there a difference between a man and a woman, but those differences are significant and they affect sports when men are allowed to compete against women. So it's a win, but again, there's nothing we can do. We went through this period of denying biological reality. We forced women to accept their fates when it comes to sporting competitions, to accept a man being in their locker room and changing with them because he says he's a woman. And this will forever be a blip on our historical timeline that we look at and go, what the hell were we thinking? What the hell were we allowing? And while it's nice that we now have a blip later on in our history where people apologize for it and these women get their titles back, I don't know how much it's going to mean for their futures. And guys, those are my thoughts on UPenn and this new change with Title IX and this restoring of titles and the apology given to the female athletes. I guess we'll wait to hear from those impacted how much this apology means to them. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, I encourage healthy debate, so if you disagree with anything said in this video, duke it out, but do so respectfully. We encourage healthy debate on this channel, and if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video for you guys, which is every day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.